No Man's Sky, Hyperdrive, the search for antimatter. And so, in order to enter the hyperdrive to be able to jump to a new solar system, you get onto this screen, and you have to be in space in order to enter the screen. So you can't enter the screen through like if you're on a planet or something like that. You have to be in outer space in order to access the screen. And obviously, if you're in outer space, you've also got the threat of enemies, shooting at you and whatnot. So you've got to be in a place where there's no enemy threat or anything like that, and you're just adrift out in space. And so I just randomly select a planet. I don't use any real measure of, I just select a planet and just go there. I didn't even check to see what the economy was like over there. I just went ahead and went for it. And so once you select the planet, you do that, you immediately enter the hyperdrive thing. I really have no control over the ship at this point. It just automatically hyperdrives to that new solar system. And so while I'm moving the ship from side to side, other than that, there's really no control. You're going to go wherever you select it. And so from there, we enter this new system. It's called the Angel-Olgar system. And so once I'm there, I eventually get a signal for a space station. And so I go there, and if my memory serves me correct, that's where I get the signal for where there's a signal that directs me to finding the antimatter, more or less. And so that's coming up. And so that leads me to the next thing is enemy ships, because you're going to run into enemy ships attacking you, especially if they have the ability to scan your ship. And so if you're carrying expensive cargo or something that they're looking for, they're gonna come and attack you and try to take your cargo from you. And so part of the reason why I wanted to show this is that, number one, I haven't really updated my arsenal as far as offense. All I've got is just basic rockets and basic photo cannon weapons on my ship. And so my mentality is having a strong defense and somewhat of a decent offense. But at this point in the game, usually I've seen like maybe one ship at a time. I think the most I've ever seen attack me is like 3, maybe 4 ships. And as long as you've got a strong defense, you'll see that up in the upper left-hand corner, my shields go down, and then I quickly recharge them back up. As long as you have the materials necessary to rejuvenate your shields, then you stand a far greater chance of being successful, even with a weak weapon systems, because you can see right here where I just tear them up with my low-end photo cannon. And you'll see here coming up, there's a firefight in which the ships have like laser I don't know, it's like a laser beam, and it'll just cut through you like butter. And the key thing, really probably the biggest key thing, there's one with a laser. And so the key thing in trying to get away from ships with these lasers that cut through you like butter, you want to keep moving around. That's really, and so it takes practice. It's going to take you some, because there is a learning curve with maneuverability of your spaceship. It's really not, I can't really say that the controls are counterintuitive. It's a learning process. You're going to have to learn how to maneuver. And because you can see that I'm really not that great at it at this point. Just good enough to survive. But, a good defense, because I'm able to rejuvenate my shields, I have plenty of materials on board to rejuvenate my shields. That gives me great long-lasting power. The key is to remember to upgrade your shields, because if your shields go down and they're firing on you, you're going to take damage. So a strong defense is probably the best thing that I can recommend if you're you know, going on a firefight, you know, by yourself, taking on enemy ships. You know, especially if you've got cargo on your ship that's valuable, they're going to attack you without question. But you can see that I flip between my rockets because, you know, once you fire your rockets, then they go dead. You know, they have to rejuvenate, and so I have a very low weapon systems at this point of the game. And so once I fire those rockets, then I got to switch over to the photo cannon to take them out. And so this is me on the space station in that same solar system, and I detected a signal off on a planet, and so I'm heading there. At this point, I don't know what I'm going to. I don't know if it's antimatter. I don't know what it is. As it turns out to be the antimatter formula. Because at this point, my hyperdrive has no fuel. So until I find that antimatter, I'm stuck in this solar system. And so I go to this trade port on the island, or not on the island, but on the planet. And there's this guy where the signal is, and he gives me the formula for the antimatter. So now at this point, I can craft my own antimatter. And then I've also got the formula already for the little canister that you're supposed to put it in order to create the warp fuel. And so you're kind of in the dark until you actually find it. I mean, you just follow the signal until eventually the guy gives it to you. So coming up next in the next clip, I take on one of those mechanical dog-like sentinels. So stay tuned for that. So here's where I managed to take on one of those dog-like sentinels. They've got lasers and all kinds of gadgetry that they fire at you. And I'm up on a high old ruin that's up off the ground, so they can't get to me up there. And so I shoot the little canister that pops out of them to see what they give me for killing them. And they give me some projectile ammunition, and then they also give me a quad server. I'm going, what's a quad server? And so I look in my pack to see what it's worth. It's not worth much, but it's not bad. It's like 20,000 units, I think. Yeah, 20,000 units. So if you're curious as to what you get if you kill one of those, that's probably what you're going to get. I don't know that it's worth risking death over that because if you've got a lot on your person, you know, death really isn't worth 20,000 units, in my opinion. So, but anyways, I thought you might be curious to see what what kind of stuff comes out of them if you kill them. So with that said, if you like these tips that I'm giving you, please subscribe to the channel, and you'll be alerted to when my next video posting is. And if not, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Brought to you by Mental Vacation in association with Ray TV.